Well, baby, you've been on my mind. I think about you all the time. Oh, I wanna see your face. That don't make me wait. And even when I go to sleep, I can see you in my dreams.
Hey, you had to end with the best one, right?
We're moving. I'm moving.
Oh, you're moving.
Yes. So we're moving in AC Hotel.
We will
Heck
be
yeah.
the official podcast for AC Marriott Hill Country. Marriott and the official bar, the official what is it?
Hey, what do you think about these guys, Dan?
Let me see them. They're clean.
Those are actually really nice.
Yeah, they look like you're about 65. That's cool.
Did you get them from Walmart?
No.
Well, he said 65. I like them. I would wear
The
them.
Cole Hans.
They're Cole Haans, and Alyssa got these.
Oh,
from
hell
me.
yeah.
She says they're hip.
Hey, Old Man River, zip it or I'll break your hip.
Oh,
Yeah,
she's
are
young.
these
Yeah,
them?
that's true.
I'd wear them. I wish the
Are they stylish?
Look at her. She didn't make eye
I
contact.
wish the white matched the brim of your hat. I wish it was more of a gum.
Well, this matches.
Family thing.
Yeah, that would be good. But white
got so
is
dry.
more like I think we're going for like a summer breeze.
You need to go get them dirty. Is what you need to do.
I'm not getting
No,
dirty.
don't get them dirty.
Get
Hell
'em
no.
just a little bit.
It's like mine. You don't want to get the kickstart. No, so we're going to be moving, and it's going to be an awesome feel. So you are the last,
Nice.
and I'm going to make
Last
that
one, best
announcement. I'm going to make the announcement.
All
I
right.
have feelings, no.
What happened about the shoes?
Yeah,
I was being honest with you.
I know.
I think they look
I
great.
All
think I
wear
like
is-
the shoes.
I
Don't
wear
listen to me.
Chucks. I wear Chucks,
Not 65.
flip flop. Dude, you can make fun of me. I'm not
Hey,
26.
I took mine to the car wash to clean them the other day.
Oh, I love those. See, that's what I'm
Thank you.
talking about.
They were a little dirty.
Are those Chucks at the platform?
Yep.
Damn right.
That's
they
exactly
are.
what they are. Because I'm 5 foot, so I always need a platform.
She's not 65.
But before we officially start this podcast, I believe Holly Beth has
An apology to me.
has a statement to make to Brandon, myself, and Handsome Dan. Holly,
I'm so sorry for wasting all of y'all's time. Listen, I told Dan the story, but to be fair, I woke up. Well, no, I fell asleep on the couch the night before. I woke up and I moved to the bed later that night.
we'll talk
in
about that
between
sleeping
there-
issues. Yeah.
Yeah, in between there, it never crossed my mind, even though I was like, hey, I got to get up really early in the morning, like 6 a.m. I got to drive to
Mhm.
Austin.
Yep.
And I didn't set my alarm.
Oh.
So how'd you wake up that
So
morning?
you didn't sleep through your alarm. You never even said it.
Nope. And I woke up to Matt calling me, and I was like, oh no, I'm a piece of shit. I'm a piece
You're
of shit.
not.
That's what I
You're
said
not.
all over again. Like I said
You're
it like
not.
4 times.
You're not.
And I was like, I don't even know what to do. So I took a second to like
Mhm.
collect myself before I called you back.
You did.
And I was like, I don't even know what I'm gonna say other than I'm sorry. Like
and that's all
I
you
don't
had to
have
say.
anything. Like I can't. I have no excuse other than like I just.
That's all you had to
Yeah.
say. You know
Was my
that, and
face
I
red?
was,
No.
I was bugging you again, saying,
I
"Come
know.
on, come on, come on." So,
Yeah.
so honored to have you on the podcast. So,
No,
Holly
thank
Beth,
you.
officially for the second time, but this time you showed up.
Yeah.
Thank you for sleeping around with
Cheers.
Dr. Brandon and Matthew, and we're drinking Deep Eddy's Ruby Red.
The favorite
And we're
drink.
going to add some of this. Holly, grab that real quick. That's Richard's Rainwater. And where are they out of? Did we decide Dripping Springs?
Both of these companies are right out of Dripping
How
Springs.
about that?
So,
I love that.
So be careful when you crack it open. It gets a little messy. I'm not messing with you. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And you pour a little in yours and pass. See
Sorry,
what I'm
guys.
saying? It happens.
yeah.
Believe me, it happens.
It's not the last time you'll be.
It happens. Man, you bet I do. Richard's Rainwater is delicious. I love Richard's Rainwater.
Collected right here in Dripping Springs. Yeah.
So also, this is a big moment. Holly, you are the official last podcast being shot in this studio. So let's all just
I love
take a
that.
moment of silence real quick. Okay. We will be moving to the AC Hotel Austin Hill Country. We will be partnering with them from this moment on, from this podcast on. We will be officially part of the Marriott group, and we couldn't be more happy. What do you think about that?
I can't believe it. It's super exciting. This studio has been kind of awesome. A little bittersweet, you know.
Mhm, mhm.
The studio has been fun. It's been awesome.
It
You know,
has.
this when we had this dream of starting this last year.
Mhm.
We weren't really sure how it was going to happen or come into play, and then
Yep.
you know Dan came on board, and we just turned the room into this, and So it's been good. It's been
It
fun.
has. It has. Except
But,
for one person no showing. It's been pretty good.
Except for and all of our guests have showed up except one.
See, and here's what we're gonna do. Is she now forgiven?
oh, yeah.
Is she forgiven? Thank
Yeah,
God.
but
All right.
we
Very
grow
good.
up. So, Dan, I know you're young and Holly Beth's young, but it's called busting balls.
Oh,
That's
I know,
just-
I know,
that's
but
what we-
yeah.
So
I still feel bad about being like I had the same experience and I never got full closure. So am I forgiven too?
No,
no,
No, see,
you're not forgiven
so
yet.
now you feel
You're
better,
not
yeah?
forgiven yet.
Very good.
So
no, yeah,
Um,
of course. Dan, seriously. Of course. Of course you're forgiven.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's easy.
by Matthew.
That's right.
Have you been to the AC Hotel?
I haven't. No.
So I can't wait for you to check it out
Yeah.
because next
excited.
time you come back
And
for
she will.
the podcast,
I won't know. Shade.
you'll also be playing at the Violet Sky, which is
Okay.
their rooftop bar,
I love it.
and it overlooks the whole country.
The official bar of Sleeping Around the Podcast.
The official bar, sleep around the
love it.
podcast. You'll have to order a Handsome Dan drink,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and it's going to be awesome. So they're going to have a nice little space for us over there.
Yep.
We're going to have a live feel to it,
Mhm.
and and it'll give me my office back. So
It will.
I'm pretty pumped about
I
that.
will.
Yeah, I
So,
bet.
so we're excited. So, Holly Beth, how are you doing today?
I am good. How are y'all?
Really good.
Better
That's
now.
good. Yeah.
I
me
have
too,
been,
right?
with all jokes aside, and I think you know this, I met Holly Beth, go figure, at Key West at Mile Zero. And I've been a fan of yours ever since that. And that was that was 2 Mile Zeros ago.
Yeah.
So I love your voice. I love your attitude. We party together. She's just awesome. And when we came up with the concept podcast and I was tasked with inviting my friends, you were definitely on that list. And so
Well, thank you.
what a better guest to have for our final podcast shoot here than
That's
you.
one last one, right?
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Or last one, best one. I said that.
I-
backwards.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. The last come first. It's in the Bible, Holly. You should read it.
I
But no,
probably need to.
I am truly a fan of your music. I have pretty much watched you through, progress through that time. And so I know you got some big things to talk about. So thank you for making the trip all the way from, did you come in from Oklahoma today?
Not today. I came yesterday. I basically dyed my hair black. Yesterday I was blonde. It's not really black, but
Wow.
it's pretty. I was blonde, and my hair girl is in Waxahachie, so it wasn't quite halfway. But
Yeah.
I will never let anyone else.
Now,
touch my
where do
hair.
you live? Where's home?
So I live like 20 minutes southwest Oklahoma City. Like,
Okay.
it's a pretty small town. There's a lot of people in it, but
like in between Oklahoma City and Norman, or more
kind
west?
of, but more west.
Okay.
It's in Mustang. I
Oh yeah,
live,
I
like
know where that's at.
a little underneath.
Oh yeah.
Yukon.
Remember,
Yeah.
I went to Yukon High School. So let's just be real
we do. I
careful
do
here.
remember that now.
Let's just be real careful.
Hey, we played with Cody, Canada a couple weeks ago.
I saw that.
And they,
Awesome.
their stopping grounds were Yukon, and he told me they called Mustang the Mustang butt stain.
Yeah. We thought that was so cool. We were
Yeah.
kids.
But I graduated high school from Kingfisher.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I didn't go to Mustang. And I was only at Kingfisher for 3 years. But then like my mom and my stepdad live in Stroud.
Mhm.
My whole family's kind of everywhere.
But you're an Okie, born and raised.
Yep. I got the tattoo to prove it.
Whoa, gosh
Nice.
dang.
It's the Oklahoma outline and then the flag in the
Yeah.
middle of it. So
I'm
pretty
just
awesome.
not a fan of tattoos, so
yeah,
I'm a little
I know.
disappointed.
Me either. I hate 'em.
But it is so good to see you. So
Yes, you too.
since the last time I saw you play live, right?
Mhm.
And it could have just been on my patio in Key West, but I thought I saw you play somewhere else. You've had a lot happen in the last year.
Yeah, it's been
Musically.
pretty crazy. Yeah.
Musically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything else. But yeah, it's been crazy.
And you officially signed, right? During
Yeah.
that period of time. You want to
Um,
talk about that?
Yeah. So
This is awesome.
I think it was just last Mile Zero,
Yep.
wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is crazy, but
We kept missing each other. I'd see her behind the stage. She'd go, hey, and I'd go, hey. We go, yeah, yeah. And that was it, pretty much.
yeah,
That was
pretty much until like the last day.
And then they would text me all night going, why
Where
are
are
you
you?
asleep?
Yeah.
Why are you asleep? Why are you
He
no.
partied too hard during the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
party too hard.
Well, the
and
first
they
year,
passed out in the ditch.
We really did. We partied hard together, and like he was our guy. Like we hung out with the entire time, and then last year I don't even know what happened, but yeah. So right before I left for Mile Zero, like we left on Tuesday, and this happened maybe like the Thursday or Friday before. I had been kind of
I came
talking.
to Waxahachie and met with you, and we talked it over.
Yes, yeah, we got sushi.
Yeah,
But
That's
I
right.
had kind of been talking back and forth with my now booking agent. His name is Jeff Turner, and he works for Red 11 in
Mhm.
Nashville. And you know, he had told me months prior, and this was like coming out of the pandemic, so you
Mhm.
know, shows were just kind of getting back into the swing of things. But he had told me, hey, I really do love what you're doing. I would love to work with you, but we're on a hiring freeze right now. We can't bring anybody else
Yep.
on just because we don't really know where the industry is going right now. We don't know if things are going to open back up or if they're going to shut down again. Like we were still
Yeah.
like in the nitty gritty of it all. And like it was 2 weeks before this phone call, he called me and he was like, by the end of the year, I promise, like just stay with me
Mhm.
here. And
And
you know,
we had a good dinner. You were like,
Yeah.
man, here's the pros, here's the cons.
mhm.
Because I was giving you my honest opinion.
Yes. And I honestly, I really did ask like so many people about
Yeah.
it just because
Yep.
it was a big decision, you
It
know?
is.
I mean, but it also, it would help so much too. And I knew
Mhm.
that. But yeah, like the Friday before I left for Mile Zero, he called me and he was like, we're sending you the contract today.
That's
If you
awesome.
want to sign,
Yeah.
you know, it's yours. And he was like, just take your time at Mile Zero. We'll worry about it when you get back. And I texted Brandy Weaver. She does all the sponsorships on Mile Zero. I texted her and let her know because
Love Brandy.
yes, me too. And she has been such a big part of my career. She helped me book shows for
Mhm.
years.
Mhm.
And so she was one of the first people I let know because I knew that would make her happy. And that was always a goal. Like Red 11 was always one of my goals. And
And if you're not
So-
familiar with Red 11, so our audience, who all is signed with Red 11?
their biggest artist that they have is Turnpike Troubadours.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. They're a little big.
Yeah. And Cody Canada's on there too.
He's a
and
little
then-
big.
Yeah.
A little big. Cody
Yeah.
Cannon.
I'm trying to think of who else they have. They have so many people. I mean,
Mile Zero lineup, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do have a lot of the Mile Zero lineup.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, take me through that thought process for you. You know, because you mentioned pros, cons. Obviously, the pros outweighed the cons, but what were you thinking in terms of pros and cons? Why would you? Why wouldn't you?
So the biggest reason, I, just over time, made friends with a lot of people in the industry, but a lot of my friends are, venue owners just because that we're in them, and I try to be as close as possible with them just because, I mean, at the end of the day, they sometimes can make or break your shows,
Absolutely.
And a lot of venues, hadn't necessarily said anything bad at all. Like they just were like, be careful because they're doing a service for you. So obviously you're having to pay them, but
Yep.
at the end of the day, like, can they offer you anything that you can't do for yourself? And without getting into it first, like sometimes from an outer perspective, like I didn't really know everything that they could
There you
do,
go.
And
What was my
but-
advice to you? Talk to someone who's with Red.
Yes.
Like, talk to them. See,
And that
there's-
was the reason that I
Yeah.
ended up signing with them is exactly
Yeah.
what you told me. Because
Yeah.
then after that moment, I was like, you're right. Why wouldn't I? So I went to all the artists that
Mhm.
like worked with my agent specifically, and I asked them. And basically what they told me was he fights for his artist.
Love that.
Sometimes venues don't necessarily love that,
Yeah.
and that might create tension. But they were like, why wouldn't you want an agent that does that? And I will say it's one thing that I absolutely love about Jeff is no matter what,
Mhm.
the end of the day, he is there for his artist
Love it.
and he will fight till he's blue in the face for them. And I've never even met the guy in person, but like I know this about him. Like,
It's
Yeah.
great. So in any career type, so I'm in sales,
Yeah.
right, Holly? So I would rather hire somebody where I had to pull them back than have to kick them to
Oh, yeah.
get going.
100%.
And it sounds like that's what he is. He just, I mean, if he's fighting for you, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And they have a great reputation. And,
Oh,
and
yeah.
y'all asked my opinion, because I do know a lot of people that sign with them. And I always believe it's an individual's choice. Some people just choose. One of my best buddies, Mark Broussard, chose to walk away from a big thing because of that reason. I gave you that example too. He has all the relationships and he's already a brand.
Yeah.
But he had to go through that first, right?
Mhm.
Whenever he re-signed. My only advice to you is don't sign forever. Make sure there's a date on there. Don't give your everything away. but-
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I love about Red 11 is it's always if everything is working, we're gonna work. If
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
doesn't, let's have a conversation. Let's try to fix it. If not, then maybe it is time.
We'll go our
to-
separate ways.
Yeah.
You know
We'll-
what? Shouldn't
we'll
that
move on.
be? And I have this theory, and I'm trying to pass it on to everybody. In any relationship, and tell me if this theory is right. I think in any relationship you have, business, personal, sex, I don't care. You're either for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I'm either in your life for a reason, I'm in it for a season, or a lifetime. In any business I do, in any personal relationships, it has to fit in one of those three categories.
Yeah.
It has to. It can't fit any of the others. Because if I'm in your life for a reason, that reason could be just to be on my podcast, let's say. And that's it. We're done with each other. A season could be, man, we've had this relationship. We grow a business together for a little while. We go our separate ways.
Yeah.
Lifetime, obviously.
Yeah.
Friendships.
Well, but
marriages,
if it's
deeper.
going to be,
well, I would say marriage, except
Yeah.
in my case. But other than my case, most marriages.
Well,
will.
if it's going to be a long season or a
Yep.
lifetime, though, it ought to be because of performance.
Mhm.
You know, and I think that goes in business too. You know, when we have
100%.
people that work in business, our employees and team members that are solid and they're working hard and they're performing are going to be there longer than the ones who just kind of show up.
Agree.
That's the problem with like a lot of government jobs. It's just like they're there forever, even though they're not performing.
I'm not going to.
Hey, my mom works for the Air Force. I'll answer that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And I love my mom. She's a hard worker and she's very determined. But I mean,
But there's probably some people she works with
Yeah.
that
and it makes her job hard.
exactly.
And, you know, she's ahead of her
and that,
team.
and that
yeah.
continues to happen in these agencies where there's one or two people that are carrying a whole bunch of dead weight,
Right.
and that's why government jobs are so inefficient.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a whole nother
It's the
topic.
government.
But that's that's a whole nother topic.
Yes, it is.
But
Man, we just
what
went
have
somewhere.
what have you seen? So this was, I mean, literally, it's been 6 months.
Yep.
Since you signed, then, right?
You know, well, okay. I guess actually that may
'Cause
have been the
remember we
first
did-
mile zero then.
No,
it?
it was because remember we missed it back to April. You're thinking of the
Oh.
one that we had to do during the summer because
No,
of the
it
pandemic.
was okay. So it was
So
that.
was
No,
January?
it was the first one because it was
Yeah.
it was like right at the beginning of May when I ended up signing the contract.
Yep.
So because I was
Yep.
with them for a year this May.
Okay, so
Yeah.
just over
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah,
then.
so
Yeah.
it was.
Okay.
It was right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
after
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But,
tell us.
yeah.
So what have you seen in that last year? What's
Shoot.
the what's
Oh
the
my
The girl's
difference?
been gone.
Tell me about Tell
The
me about
girl's
like
been
before
Yeah. To
a
like,
little bit,
and then after.
and then now. Yeah, catch us up.
Well, so before, I mean, you know, for like, I probably actually kind of worked with them,
Mhm.
but like not in a contractual way, for like 6 months. And so I was getting really cool shows, but it was just with like a handful of their artists. One of their artists that we play with a ton is Giovanni and the Hired Guns.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then like Cody West is another one.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like just playing shows with really kind of just them two. Which I loved. Like those are two of my favorite artists. So
Let's say
I was
it's
fine with it.
Not
Yeah.
a bad gig.
No, not at all. And
Great following.
but even before that, so this was like in the middle of the pandemic. We weren't playing, you know, obviously nobody was doing anything. That was hard because right before the pandemic, I was supposed to be on Chili Fest.
Mhm.
Dolly Shine had just announced their reunion tour. And
Chili
that was
Fest
when
over
it was,
in Snook.
yeah. I had been on a songwriter contest and ended up like making it to like the final, and I think that's how it had ended up, and I made it on to Chili Fest, and then we were supposed to be opening up for Dolly Shine, and that was like a really cool show, and then I had the biggest shows of my career at that point, that March that everything shut down,
Mhm.
and
God, we have a common theme in our podcast that it's like everybody had something right
Mhm.
before then.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
the
the, whole
pandemic?
world did,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, 2020 was supposed to be my year, man.
100%.
January 2020 was so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I had just started releasing music in like
Mm-hmm.
August of 2019. And that was like at the height, January of 2020, Spotify had put me as the cover of Texas Music Now. Well, it's Texas Country now, but like that was insane to me. It was undeserved, but like
Not true.
it was
wait
at the
till
time-
you play and then
at the time
we'll-
I've had super imposter syndrome about it, but like it was crazy. Like that was the
Have
like,
you guys noticed what Holly's doing that I don't think any of our artists do? And you're real big on team. So you've trained me. She says we. That's
Oh.
awesome, dude.
well,
No,
thanks.
I'm being dead serious. Like
It takes a village. It's not just me. I know
did you
that.
notice that? I thought that was really
Thank you.
cool. You keep saying we and we. So I
Yeah.
respect that about you
Thank you.
amongst the many things. So Brennan had talked about it. So that journey for this last year after being signed to Red 11, I know because I follow you on
Yeah.
social. I mean, you've been busy.
Yeah. So
Let's talk about it.
from May to the
Yeah.
end of the year after that, I think I clocked the shows that we played 77 shows from May to the end of the year.
Mhm.
Insane. I had never imagined to play that many shows. And this year, I haven't added it up in a couple of months. We're halfway through the month or through the year. I should have done it now. But I think, I mean, we'll probably get close to 100 shows this year, if not.
I'm going to ask you a
Yeah.
question. I bet no one's asked you on a podcast or a radio
All
show.
right, let's hear it.
And I don't think I've
love
asked it on this podcast. On this podcast, is there such thing as male groupies?
Yes.
I knew it.
She got all quiet.
No, being
She got all
serious.
quiet.
Like she's over there laughing. Her friends over
my,
laughing.
my friend Ashley's here and she
Yeah,
knows.
Ashley's like, yeah.
She's written merch for artists and she, she's in the scene, so she knows. But
So
yeah.
there is such thing.
Is she
as
in
like,
charge of handling the mail? groupies?
Oh.
Hey, I might need
She
to
goes,
put her in
they go
charge.
through Ashley first. Ashley's like, it's been great. And I said, okay, so we don't have to go in detail, but
Yeah.
there's,
Yeah.
that's so
How
cool.
would there not be?
Yeah.
But I've never thought about it.
I will say, I think the females sometimes are a little bit crazier, but I have female ones too.
Yep.
I bet.
I wear flannels a lot. Girls just don't really know which way I'm going at this point. And
Smart move.
I had one girl at a show. This was like last Thanksgiving. I like specifically remember where we were, what was happening.
Uh-oh.
But I was on stage and she walks up and she goes, "Call me." And I was like, "Girl," I was like, "I'm sorry. Take one of the guys." Like, or I don't know. I don't,
Yeah.
but anyways.
Well, I will tell you, doing
it's
this
funny.
podcast, we have certain followings,
Yeah.
and my Facebook and stuff is connected, and so I get the most unique DMs. I might be the only person that can say that I feel girls' pain on this. Let's see if Ashley agrees with me. There's nothing worse than just getting a dick pic for no reason.
Oh, God.
Like, there's no hello. My name is Steve. You're handsome. I like your calves.
It's
Nothing.
unsolicited, yeah.
Just the penis. So I have empathy for you ladies, and I've made the joke. If I was a kid, I had a phone, I'd have 4,000 of those things floating around.
Oh, God.
My own, Ashley, my own penis picture. But I just don't understand why guys would do that. So yeah, we have a following of those too, and I didn't have to wear flannel, so it was worked out
Hey,
pretty good.
you're doing something right.
So
No,
you answered that question. So out of all these gigs and stuff, and I won't say rank them because then you'll put someone maybe feeling, but what was some cool experiences you had that you wouldn't have had without signing with Red 11? Maybe share that.
Man, yeah, I mean, really, it's cool. I mean, all the time, like you said, but
She's
like
it's cool all the time.
it really is. I mean, I'm living my dream, so it's it really is cool. But like, I mean, this was recent. We kind of already talked about it, but I mean, we played with Cody Canada. Me and my mom, and I posted about it today. But me and my mom grew up singing "Sick and Tired" in the car together, and
Cross
his-
Canadian ragweed.
Yeah.
yeah. His tour
Yukon,
manager came
Oklahoma.
up to me before it was like in the middle of their set and was like, "Hey, do you know Sick and Tired?" And I was like, "I do. It's been a long time." He's like, "Well, you want to sing it with them? I don't know if it's on their
Wow.
set list, but like they'll add it in." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so I went and listened to it like 5 times in a row, just like make sure I remembered it. And then yeah, he brought me up on stage and like it was like the
Look
most
at
cool
you.
thing. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't have ever had that like
Yeah.
without Red 11. So and there's I mean festivals too. Like we played Born and Raised Festival.
Yep.
Get this isn't even about me really. We played Born and Raised Festival last year. We were the first band on Sunday
Mhm.
on the side or like on the smaller stage.
Mhm.
Zach Bryan played right after me and he
Yep.
is headlining this year.
Yep.
That's insane. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like yeah.
So-
Anyways, but
My good friend, Kyle Carter, who happens to run a lot of these festivals and stuff, is also a fan. And I think it's so neat when they started Born and Raised and stuff. And so I was kind of maybe I get a preview and get to see who's, going to be playing certain
Yeah.
things. And I always get excited when I see certain people. And so that was cool. And I saw the line. I was like, that's kind of cool.
yeah.
One of the famous stories that I have from that, I think we were together, meaning watching this
Yeah.
together is Morgan Wade, and Kyle called it. He went to that Zen stage and goes, "Y'all better catch her right now. You better catch her right now."
Yeah.
And there's 40 people there. She sang her
That's
butt off
insane.
that next
Yeah.
year. She was, it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Now she's
She's
with Chris
blown up,
Stapleton.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. So
That I
it's
do
cool.
remember that when Brandy had told me that they were getting her and
Yep.
she told me some information and she's like, "It'll never happen again ever."
Mhm.
I don't know how we got her for
Yep.
but
And we
like,
got her last year for a minute because it was so freaking cold.
Yeah.
But-
oh, that was insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
Saturday or
I mean, she ended up doing the private gig for Platinum, but yeah,
oh, really cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that was indoors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this last year at Mile Zero, that
Saturday.
final night was freaking.
I went back to
ridiculous.
my hotel room actually the last night
I did too. I
about
didn't-
7:30 p.m. Like I didn't even watch really
The
anybody,
weather
but
wasn't cooperating.
Oh, it was freezing.
it
was
started raining that day.
freezing.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was 60 degrees, but when you're in 85, 90 degree weather
Yep.
all week and then it hits
And listen,
nobody
all all I wear
wore-
is Daisy Dukes, flip flops,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
So
Nobody
you can
I
imagine.
believe
wore,
that. That's why you
nobody
get so
brought
many dick
clothes.
pics.
Luckily, I had brought leggings for like the ride there, so that's what. And then Sunday, it was also cold when
Yep.
we left to go to the
Yeah.
airport too on Sunday. So yeah, the last couple
Yeah, I
days.
stayed. I stayed for a few extra days. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Did it get better, like warmer again?
Oh, it got a lot better. Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Well, take me back, Holly.
Yeah.
I'm not a groupie,
Yeah.
so
That's true.
I don't actually.
So I know.
I
want
don't.
you to
I
ask
don't know the
questions.
history. So, like, has music been a lifelong passion for you? Is this how you grew up? Like, I want to be a singer songwriter.
Yeah, I didn't even necessarily know really about singer songwriter, type, but yeah, I started like singing like first grade, 8 years old, somewhere in there. But I started with just like school. My music teacher came to my mom and was like, she can carry a tune. I want to kind of put her in this like singing competition. It was like through schools, and I sang a song about a duck. My mom overrode the video with a soccer game.
Like
Oh no, it's gone.
a
Yeah.
made up song about a duck,
No,
like that you wrote, or
it
like
was
there's
a
an
song
actual.
like that they pick, and like I had to learn it, but it was about a duck. I don't remember it.
Do you
but
remember? You don't
no,
remember?
no,
You know, we
I-
always
totally
ask
want
And
you to
I
sing.
tried to,
I
like-
want to hear the duck
Me
song.
too.
It
Yeah,
wasn't like
I-
a singing version of the Ugly Duckling, was it?
It might have been. I
Look
have no
at her.
idea.
Too much.
I
yeah,
really don't
no
know. I just remember my mom said she remembered it was about a duck, and I do kind of remember a duck, but like I tried to like get it back so I could like watch the video, and it was on one of those giant
We
video
call those
recorders.
VHS tapes. You don't have to start
No, it wasn't.
the age shit.
No, it was the
Oh,
actual
here we go.
recorder itself. Like it was the camera that it was. She
Oh yeah,
had
yeah,
it. And it was, but it was huge. Anyways, and it had like one of those like I don't know, the lens that you look
Yeah,
through.
Oh
You
yeah.
know?
my gosh,
And-
you were so young. It's called the camcorder.
Yeah. I
Oh my
guess.
gosh.
And but yeah, she overrode the video. Other than like 5 seconds of it, and I wasn't singing loud enough to. That's changed. I'm a
Well,
lot louder now.
You're
We're not going to make
But-
you sing that song. So
Okay,
that was
good.
your first
Yes,
singing
so-
in front. Okay.
Yes, and then I did dance. I like was in troop, like competitive troop, and traveled with that. And
Okay.
I loved that. So I knew I loved being on a stage, and I was not like scared of that. But I wanted to start piano, and I wanted to start singing more. And so there's the Oklahoma Centennial Rodeo Opry is what it used to be called. Now they just named it Oklahoma Opry
Yeah.
in Oklahoma.
Great place.
Yeah,
Great venue.
they had like a Friday night kind of rising star thing is what they
Mhm.
called it, where you came and sang, and then they had like critiques the next
Mhm.
morning, and I did that, and through that I found my vocal coach. I was with her for like almost 10 years, and then I started piano at the same time I started singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
I
is
did
high
that.
school.
How
Yeah,
how
I
old were you
I
at
was
this
8
time?
when I started there. Actually, like I
Oh,
started
shit.
vocal lessons with her when I was 9,
Oh,
like turned 9
Okay,
that December.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so-
So you were still
Wow.
really young.
Yeah, very young. And so like I sang my whole life, like through Oklahoma and Texas, like at county fairs.
Did you
and-
do musical theater at all?
No. So I never got in like choir or like anything like that
What?
with school because I never wanted to do like classical stuff or
Okay.
like the like kind of more trained. Like I always knew I wanted to do
Now,
like
did you
pop,
have an
contemporary.
influence? Like, were your parents musicians?
No,
were
my
they?
mom's tone deaf.
Okay.
Like, bad.
Wow.
I love
And
her, but
now
We
were
brought
they?
your mom
were
up
they
3 times now.
obviously, they were supportive of this. Were they?
Yeah.
Were they pushing you and encouraging you to do this? or-
yeah. And my dad, they've always been like super supportive of it.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just kind of were like, I mean, if that's what you want to do,
Do you have
like,
siblings?
yeah, I have a little brother. He's 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was he musically too, or was he
Um,
totally opposite? Like my brother and I are totally different.
We're figuring it out right now.
Okay.
He went to a music festival with me last summer.
Nice.
That we played, and he watched Gio play,
Nice. Yeah.
and he was like, "I think I want to play the drums." I think he's gonna start in August.
Cool.
But my mom bought him like a software that he can like make beats on, and
Yeah.
I think he wants to kind of get in the producer world.
That's cool.
And I told him when he started, he needed to learn an instrument that's like gonna help him tremendously, and
Right.
that was a couple months ago, and now he's just now getting into. I think I need to learn an instrument, so. He's getting it, but he's trying to like make beats himself on
Yeah.
like the keyboard on the thing on the software, and he just doesn't understand like notes that go together.
Sure.
And so like I'm coming in and I'm like, well, move this here, and so I kind of try to help him, but
That's
I don't know.
cool.
I really, my dad was adopted, and I have I've been really trying to find his family, but I
Wow.
can't. And
So you think it comes from? It's got to come.
yeah,
from
my
somewhere.
dad can kind of carry a tone, but he's not like musical. Like
Yeah.
he, if he sings in the car, like when I was younger, I know he used to. I haven't heard him in years, and I know he was in choir like in high school, but yeah, I don't
Right.
really. My grandma is music on my mom's side, actually. I will say, she like plays the accordion and the organ.
Oh, wow.
I love the accordion.
Yeah, but she hasn't done it in years. But like, and she can carry a tune too, like singing. But nobody like
So
ever did
let's
music.
let's put you. If I was to meet you as a junior in high school,
Mm-hmm.
what's a typical day like in Kingfisher, a junior in high school for you? If you're
Yeah.
not part of choir, you're not part
Yeah.
of musical theater, you have this passion for music.
What was I doing?
Yeah.
I was an FFA.
Okay.
And that did help with
Future
music
Farmers
too.
of America.
Yeah. My brother's dad was an ag teacher. I mean, he still is.
Yeah.
But I grew up showing pigs and giving
Mhm.
speeches and all that stuff, and that was my life. I mean, I did sing, but
Did
not
you do
to
the
the
national
extent.
anthem at those FFA events or no?
Yeah, well, I actually like national and state FFA
Yeah.
conventions. They
Yeah.
have talent.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I did that. That was pretty much where I knew like the moment, like the first time I was on stage in front of thousands of people, I was like, yeah, this is what I
So
want to
Reba
do.
McEntire, same thing. FFA.
Really?
Started
I didn't
singing.
know that.
Mhm.
That's
Oklahoma, absolutely. But
That's
she had
awesome.
red hair. It's the only
Yeah.
difference between you
Yeah.
guys. Well, let's do this. We're already into this, and I haven't got to hear you sing yet.
Okay.
So you get up here and sing us
All
a song up here,
right.
Holly Beth, please. Do I need to do anything? Okay. While we're on a break, I got to give a shout out to not a sponsor, but to the greatest bar that has ever existed. It's called the Old Cooley Lounge. And I'm going to show you how cool this bar is in Louisiana. Doesn't even put the area code. Like they have their phone number. Get a shot of this, Dan. They have the phone number on the back of this very tight, very
856-9755.
and Old Cooley is a double wide trailer that you're allowed to still smoke cigarettes in and drink cold beer and other stuff. And I just had to give them a shout out. And they're absolutely not a partner or sponsor. I just thought it was a cool shirt. Holly Beth, let's hear what you got.
All right. Do you want an old one or a new one?
Dan's good at this. Dan, give him the parameters of the song. And Dan's good at picking.
Old song or like one that's been out or a new song that's going to be on our new stuff?
Let's go old first.
Okay. I got you. I'm going to play you, I believe, if I can get this on here, On My Mind. It was a single that we released in March of 2021. And yeah, I'm from Oklahoma, but I did live in Texas for like 3 years. And I wrote this song kind of about that in a weird way. It's called On My Mind. Down one headlight, headed for you. To start over and try something new. Word traveled north that you never moved on. And in my heart I know where I belong. So I'm living that Dust Bowl town in the mirror, saying
Time.
Thank you.
Don't you go anywhere.
Oh, don't go anywhere? Okay.
So thank you for that. Going 85 down 35.
Yep.
When you wrote that song, how did you write it? Did you write it from a piece of paper? Did you use your notes? Was it something you had been working on for a while?
So I started this song with the producer that I worked with on this song. His name is Philip Mosley.
Mm-hmm.
He works out of Rosewood and Tyler a
Mhm.
lot. He and I had kind of the idea. I mean, I'm from Oklahoma, and we only got 2 lines down, and it was just on our notes. But we sat down to write that day. I was in there for 3.5 hours, and we only got 2 lines of it.
Wow.
We took it home. And I honestly kind of tweaked those 2 lines a little bit. I didn't love the flow of them. And then it was maybe 2 months later, I literally was driving down I-35. This is
Wow.
the God's honest truth. I had 1 headlight. My other one was burnt out.
Yeah.
And, was just going through some relationship issues.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, it's a true story. And I had been in Oklahoma visiting family, just kind of trying to get away, and I literally just packed up my stuff in 11 o'clock at night, and I was like, I just got to go back to Texas. I know that's where I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I only had 1 headlight, and so I wasn't supposed to be driving at night, and it was supposed to get fixed soon, and I was like, screw it, I'll do it when I get back to Texas. So down to 1 headlight, headed for you was the God's honest truth.
Gosh, I love
and
these
that,
stories.
that
man.
line came, and so yeah, the next day I sat down and I finished it, and it all just kind of flowed at that point.
Can I ask you a question? Whenever you have a song like this, and I think it's beautiful, is there somebody you go to after you finish it where you go, is this good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually it's the producers that I'm working
Yeah.
with. I work with a different one now, but yeah,
Right.
he's always my first one that I send it. One of my guitar players is another one that
Yeah.
he
Now
likes
will
to
they
send
look
it.
at you and go, nah, that's not that good?
Yeah.
Or do you always win?
Yeah. They don't really say it's not good, but they'll be
Positive
like, it's not
critiques.
it's not your strongest song,
Okay.
maybe work on this or work on that, or they won't respond.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I know.
I get that a lot. They go, you have a good personality. What?
Yeah.
So let's play a new one. I got
Okay.
you on the stool, and
All
I got
right.
you here
New one.
finally
Yeah.
in
I know.
Austin. Play one of the new ones that's going to be released.
All right, cool. Yeah.
God, I love your voice.
Thank you. This one, I'm gonna say this, and I don't know when this is gonna come out, but it's probably gonna be before this. So hopefully at this point I'll have announced it. If not, guess I'm telling the world. But I think we're going to release the song August 19th.
Okay.
So it's still a couple more months, but yeah, this is gonna be the first single off of our album.
You're the best.
Thank
I
you.
love it. I love this.
This is called Break Me Down. Break me down, every little piece of me, break me down. Please tell me this is a dream, and I'm floating outside of reality. Back and forth again and again, we make it hard for this to end. Tell me this is a dream. Break me down, every little piece of me, break me down. Give me every part of you, and I'll give all of me too. Oh, one more night to feel you high, one more night to live our love. Break me down.
Break me down, every little piece of me. Break me down, give me every part of you, and I'll give all of me too. One more night to feel you high, one more night to live out loud. Break me down, break me down.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, Holly. I see why you have groupies. I'm actually- Let me grab your guitar. I'm gonna have you sit back down.
Thank you.
So Holly, besides being our only person that's been scheduled twice, well, no, that's not true. Max Kerr, Dr.
Yeah.
Max Kerr was scheduled twice. You know what we talk about here. Dan, can you help our guest out, please? Oh, okay. We talk about sleep.
Yes, I'm so
And-
excited for this part.
Yeah. So what excites you about talking about sleep?
I love sleep.
All right. So
I-
what do you love about it?
I don't know. I just don't know really. I mean, I know how to sleep, but I don't really know anything about it. I think it's interesting to like hear you guys. I've watched some of the podcast. I watched all of Bree's, but then I kind of like skipped around a couple other people's, but
That's fine.
I listened to the sleep parts.
Yeah.
I like that. But one thing about Breeze is she was like having a hard time going back to sleep, you know, or she was just having a hard time sleeping, period. I don't have the problem.
You're a good sleeper.
Yeah,
Wow.
I can sleep anywhere at any time,
What?
no matter the sound. Like it can be very loud, and I'll pass out if I'm tired. I don't know.
That's good.
I don't know if that's good, but I also feel like maybe sometimes it's a problem because I can sleep for like 14 hours and like have no
Gosh,
problem.
I'm jealous of that.
So like, my parents have always said I sleep my life away, but
So let's talk about
not
it.
wrong.
So if and we got Dr. Brandon here,
Yes.
and obviously you've watched some of the podcasts. It sounds to me like you don't have a problem sleeping,
no.
but you're giggling over there. Do you think you sleep maybe too much?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this might be a first for us. Have we had someone that said, "Man, I might be sleeping"?
You
too
know,
much?
that's the opposite of what almost everybody says.
know.
Everybody else says, I don't get enough sleep.
And everybody's going to hate this podcast. They're going to be like, "Man, that's son of a
Yeah.
No.
Stupid Holly.
So that's a good thing, Holly. That's a great thing. That means your body is recovering. You're resting. You're getting the right amount of sleep for you and for whatever your body is going through.
Yeah.
But when you went on this run and you said something crazy, 77 dates within a certain time period,
Yeah.
did you find that once you hit the road with Red 11, did obviously the times changed, right? You were probably going to bed around 3 or 4 in the morning, but you were able to sleep all the way through till whenever?
Well, so I think a big part of why I'm like this, when I said I grew up showing pigs, so like he was my stepdad for about 12 years. So him and my
Yeah.
mom were married for a long time.
Your mom was married to a pig?
to my brother's dad, and he's an ag
Oh,
teacher. Sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, I kind of jumped. I knew. I was
didn't
like,
know.
I'm gonna have to
whatever.
backtrack.
Cool. I mean,
But he, we had to go bite other people and like the programs, animals too, you know. So sometimes, I mean, we would drive hundreds, thousands of miles, you know, to like go look at pigs. Well, I got really comfortable sleeping in a vehicle,
okay.
and I think it almost kind of was like just the vibrations of the vehicle, you know, kind of like almost like a baby. You know?
Yeah.
And then, but also like I had to get comfortable with sleeping in a lawn chair in the show barn. So like the sound of like a fan and like loud noises, I think like comforted me too. And so that's why like it doesn't have to be quiet. Like so like on the road, we have a Tahoe, 2002 Chevy Tahoe is what we travel around in.
Cool.
And I'm really the only one that can fit in the back bench. But I can literally lay out flat, like my
Yeah.
feet touch the windows, but like it's a bed for me. And,
Yeah.
majority of the time on the road, like, I mean, we're usually having to travel 5 or 6 hours no matter where we go from
Right.
Oklahoma City. I sleep for like maybe 4 of the hours most of the time.
That's
and
great.
I might have slept all night before. And like, it's kind of a joke in my band. Like, you sleep a lot. And for a long time, I was kind of depressed, and I thought that's attributed to
I
it.
was going to ask
but
about, okay.
I have like worked a lot on myself, and I feel like I really am happy now, and I still can do it. So I'm like,
You've
I don't know.
conditioned yourself. So
Yeah,
there
probably.
is, and I can't think of the name of it, but it kind of goes up along with Pavlov's theory. Pavlov's theory about the dog who, You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Pavlov, it's okay. It's okay. So basically what it's saying is that you can train your body to do anything. There's a study that was done by Pavlov that did a thing with an onion that we actually did in class, where you turn off the light, you put an onion next to your eye, and then when the light goes on, you pull the onion away. Just a cut onion, right? Every time you turn off the light, you can actually train your brain that next time you put an onion up to your eyes would dilate like it's dark. Pavlov's theory has to do with a dog that salivates when it's time for food. We're training our body, and we believe in big time cognitive behavioral for people who can't sleep. You've actually had the opposite. You literally could get in a car and there's a trigger that says, I want to
Sleepy
sleep.
time.
Sleep.
Yeah. So I think that you have trained your body without knowing it, nurturing. But there is a name for it, but it's people who traveled a lot growing up. I know for me, anytime I got in a car, even to go to church, man, I was falling
Asleep.
out. But I found out later on in life that when I was a kid, I couldn't fall asleep. They'd put me in the car. They'd drive me around.
Drive you around.
And back in the day, they'd just park it in the garage, put the garage door down. They wouldn't keep their car running. They just let me sleep in the car because I was sleeping. So it could be something like that. Or you just might have onset narcolepsy or something. I mean, I don't know. But if you're fine with sleep, that's great.
Yeah.
They said maybe it's carcolepsy.
Carcolepsy.
That's funny.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Carcolepsy.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Do you have any questions for Brandon or me?
I mean, is
when
it
it
normal?
comes to sleep?
No, you're not normal.
So,
That's a
Lovely.
good
You're
thing.
weird.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah.
hey, my parents. have
No,
always
it's
told me
not.
that
It's
too.
not a bad thing. So
Yeah.
you know, everybody has different hours of sleep that they require.
Yeah.
There are, you know, there's the average. Everybody supposedly needs 7.5 hours of sleep. If you look
Mhm.
at kind of what's ideal, that's based on the bell curve. That's based on averages. Some people do need more. Different ages too. You
Mhm.
know, so teenagers particularly have different circadian rhythms
Mhm.
and tend to sleep longer. So that's why teenagers go to bed later. They wake up later in the morning. They
Mhm.
sleep in, you know, all day. My sister's still, she's 38. She still acts like a teenager. She sleeps till like 2 p.m.
Oh, I love your sister.
But love you, Megan.
Yep. Can't believe y'all are related.
But you know, I think that there's obvious variations.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to think of my words here.
Mm.
Variations in how much sleep somebody needs. I think what matters most is that you feel
Ye-
well rested,
Mhm.
and you have energy, and you're able to function on a daily basis. So it's different if you're
tired.
tired
Yeah.
and you take a nap and you fall asleep, or at nighttime it's time for bed and you're like, hey, it's time for bed, I'm going to sleep, and it doesn't matter if you're laying on a stone floor with a brick fireplace
Yeah.
pillow or something like that. I had a friend do that one time. But what would be different would be you're driving
Mhm.
and you're dozing off when you're not tired, or you're not supposed to be tired, or you're on stage.
I think you might be telling me that something's wrong with me right
No,
And-
no, no, no.
You're
Does that
dozing
happen
off.
when you're
Yeah.
driving?
Yeah.
Or you're
I can't drive for like a
or
super
you're
long time. at
you're
once.
working, and because then the question is the sleep you're getting quality sleep,
Yeah.
or is there any breathing
Hey, Ashley,
disturbances?
Ashley, can I see your pretty face? Thank you. Does she snore?
I don't know that we've ever
Okay.
stayed in.
Okay.
I
Has
don't-
anybody ever told you snore?
I can usually kind of tell my throat will kind of hurt.
Okay.
But I don't typically unless like my nose is stopped up. Like
Okay.
if I
Yeah.
have like allergies. So I do think there is like a small, well, I think it actually might be a big factor. And I'm getting it together now, but I'm only like 6 weeks in. But I found out my thyroid was inactive.
That's another thing. So we talk about hormones.
Mm-hmm.
So thyroid is huge, obviously, because that controls energy and all
How do
that
you know
kind
what
of
size
stuff.
her thyroid is?
Her thyroid, not
Oh, just the
it's a huge
problem.
component.
Oh,
yeah.
got it. Sorry.
So
Sorry.
metabolism, thyroid, hormones, cortisol, inflammation,
Mhm.
obviously impacts that as well. And
Drinking,
then,
Drugs,
drugs, drinking, all that good stuff happens as well.
Mhm. Exercise, lack of exercise, BMI.
And then
All
the
those.
breathing component of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And while we're talking about breathing, we should mention that nasal breathing is incredibly important. Breathing through your nose
Okay.
instead of through your
You had
your
talked
mouth.
about
At
unless your
night.
nose.
At
Yeah.
night. Yeah. And during the daytime.
Mhm.
And when you work out or anything. And there are people out there that are trying to breathe better through their nose. And they
Your-
could use
your
one of our,
transitions are
they
great.
could use one of our partners,
Your transitions
airway
are-
stents. If you look on the wall there, you'll see the logo for Airway
Oh.
Stents. This is one of our partners, Holly.
Okay.
They do a
And
great
if you're
job.
ever thinking, I'm not really breathing well through my nose, maybe I've got allergies, maybe I'm a little congested, stopped up, maybe the doctor said I needed some nose surgery, clean it out, do some stuff. And you're like, I don't really want to do surgery, but I want to breathe better through my nose.
Mhm.
This product could help you do that.
Absolutely.
Goes in the nose, comes out. It's easy to place. It opens up the airways, creates more airflow, less turbulence,
Mhm.
better sleep, better compliance with CPAP, better compliance with oral devices,
Everything.
better oxygen intake, better
Yep.
nitric oxide creation.
Mhm.
Huge component. So nasal breathing.
Awesome.
And if you're interested, Google it. Airway Stents. It's a great product, and we're excited to partner with them.
I'm excited to see with my musician friends how that works, especially when they stuffed up noses, stuff like
Yeah.
that, being on the road.
I wonder how if they could sing differently, like if they're not
Your
congested,
nose-
or maybe
yeah,
if
your nose
you're-
definitely plays a huge
Yeah.
factor in how
I mean,
you
I can't
sound,
wait
yeah.
to use one on. I mean, there's a couple of artists I'm thinking. I mean, Bob Dylan right now. We get him fixed up. He will
you
have
always
the best.
rag on Bob Dylan.
I'm just saying. I'm not ragging on him. I'm just saying he sounds nasally.
You think we could extend his life?
Probably.
Most likely, most
Yeah.
definitely. Nasal breathing will
Bring it back.
absolutely extend lives. As a matter of fact, I think Airway Stents has that on their website. This will extend. I'm just kidding.
Hey.
They probably don't.
Extend Bob.
I have heard
we're gonna
people-
we're gonna get a phone call.
I have heard people that need a CPAP that don't have one. They sound like they're dying.
So that's severe
I
sleep
think we know who
apnea.
we're talking
Yeah.
about, and I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
My-
that's
So my dad had it done. It's been probably 10 years ago now. But it was when you still had to go to the hospital and sleep
Yep.
there or wherever
lab.
it was. Yeah.
In lab.
And he was waking up 72 times in an hour.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
So that's
That's
severe
what we
sleep
do.
apnea.
Yeah.
That's
And that's exactly what I treat in my
Yeah.
business.
Mhm.
And that is actually been proven that you will extend your life. Now there's different studies out there that show you will live somewhere between 8 years to 20 years longer
wow.
if you treat your sleep apnea, if you wear your CPAP, if you wear your oral device, as opposed to if you don't treat your sleep apnea.
Yeah.
So, and then if you don't, it builds up a lot of health problems. You end up with heart disease, you end up having a heart attack in your 60s, and not good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think if you feel like, hey, I'm kind of tired all the time, I'm always dozing off,
Mhm.
that we were kind of joking about narcolepsy, but that would be the indication for maybe getting a sleep test, maybe going to one of those labs
Yeah.
that's not necessarily a hospital. Nowadays they're more like hotel rooms.
Yep.
And doing a sleep study so that they can watch your brain patterns, watch
Yeah.
your quality, check your breathing, check your heart rate while you're sleeping, and find out, hey, maybe there is some narcolepsy. Maybe there's some, periodic leg movements, restless leg syndrome. Maybe there is some not severe sleep apnea, but mild
Yeah.
sleep apnea or something like that then could potentially, if you change some things, could improve
And
that.
you said your dad had it?
Yeah, he just had the sleep apnea. Is that what it's called?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
where he wasn't sleeping great. Yeah, and he wears a CPAP every night. And
Good for him.
Yeah, he's done well on it, and I mean, it really does it changed his sleeping. I just remember when it happened. He was he said that he would feel all right in the morning, but by 2 p.m. every day
Yep.
he needed a nap,
Yep.
and he was like, I still had 3 of my hours of my workday left, and he'd get home and he'd go to sleep, and then he'd wake up and then he'd go to sleep again at 10 p.m. He was just tired all the time. But isn't narcolepsy, don't you just fall asleep at any point?
we were talking about that,
Yeah.
and that's
I'm curious.
one symptom of some people with narcolepsy.
Okay.
When people think that, they
I
think
figured
of
there's
almost
probably
the
different
levels
of
cartoon
it.
or
But- Generally speaking, that's not narcolepsy. Narcoleptics are just really tired all the time.
all
and
the time.
And no matter how much they sleep, they never feel like they get enough.
Is that treatable? Can you do anything for it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
absolutely.
There's-
So we'll put you on one of our episodes so you could watch it and learn. No, I'm kidding. Yes,
But
there's things you can
But
do.
before you can do anything about it, you got to diagnose it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, I
I've never,
don't,
maybe.
there's no harm to getting a study.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would encourage that.
I only got 1 year left. Well, a year and a half left on my stepdad's health insurance. So
There you go.
Oh
There you
my
go.
God.
There you go.
No, I really, the thyroid thing, I just found out about that. But my dad also had that. I am
I was going to say,
identical to my dad's health thing.
okay. So I wonder
think,
if,
maybe
Yeah.
it might be worth it to
It's worth
look
checking
into it,
out.
But
yeah.
yeah.
It's So we're checking.
I've
out.
always wondered because I
And
mean, since I was a
we
kid.
definitely-
In
and
like
if you're close to
Oklahoma,
Oklahoma
right?
City,
I
Yeah.
got you.
we
Okay.
could find. We got
Cool.
people in Oklahoma City for
yeah,
sure.
You know that.
That we can
I
hook you
definitely
up
am
with.
interested because I am in
I
this
mean, I would
little
have
health
you go
journey
see
right
Jason
now.
just to get on a home sleep testing. Jason
Okay.
Breed, Dr. Jason Breed.
Okay.
I meant right there in Yukon. So
Awesome.
I meant he would do that and definitely put you on an HSD, and let's just see what that reads first before we do an in lab.
Well, yeah, we could do
Yeah.
that
Right.
first.
And that way it's non-invasive. Put it on.
Yeah.
He used the Watch Pat, which is I thought we had one up there, but it's real easy. Something goes over your finger, something go in your watch, you go to sleep. For you, you sleep 14 hours with it. It's going to have great data. 14 hours.
I
Doesn't
don't do
even
that every
14
night.
hours.
I just can. I know I can. I've done it before, but like most generally, like I just know I've always required more sleep than like all of my friends. Like
Mhm.
you know, like I'll have friends that'll be like, I mean, I can function fine on 3 or 4 hours of sleep or 5 hours of sleep, and I'm like, I need like 8 or 9.
So my daughter was the exact same way, and,
Mhm.
and it changed the whole dynamic of sleepovers and slumber
Yeah.
parties and stuff. Because Mia always had to need more sleep. Now her situation is now she's on a CPAP and all that. She's
Mhm.
young, but there was an issue there. But that was the first indicator because all her friends would be wanting to stay up all night. She's like, "I'm going to bed.
Yeah,
I need to go. I have to go to bed. Not I want to. I
have to.
have
Like
to,
my body's yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that's one thing with me. Like, I have never, I mean, obviously, unless I'm like in class or I'm driving or something, but like if I'm sitting there, if I'm on my phone and I maybe just but if I'm tired, I'm shutting my eyes and I'm going to sleep. Like, I've never really fought that.
I love that.
Like, I'll do it. I don't care. But like, I also, I don't like, sometimes it's too much, I feel like, you know?
Right.
And so that's why I don't know.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I have the most. I'm notorious. We go on these guys ski trips every year, annual ski mancation,
Ski vacation.
and we go. You know, we rent a big house. We have
Yeah.
10 to 12 guys. We're up. We're drinking. We're having a good time. We're in the hot tub. We're talking, catching up. We only see these guys once a year,
Mm-hmm.
but we all love to snowboard and ski. And so the next morning we're getting up and we're gonna hit the mountain and we're gonna ride hard and hit the pow, shred the gnar, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, do you ride? Do you snowboard?
No.
Oh my gosh, you would love it. There reaches a point in the evening where I'm exactly like that. And it's just so funny because literally like we might be like mid conversation, just talking like this. And I'll just get up and walk out and I'll just like walk to the room. And I'll just, oh shit. And I'll just walk to the room and then just go to bed. And everybody else, like, I guess Brandon's tired.
So that's what I do in Key West. I
Yeah.
go hard the first couple of days, but then after
That's
that,
when
I'm
you
like,
disappear.
Gotta
I
go.
go, you know what? I'm just gonna
Yeah.
I don't need to be at shots and giggles at
Yeah.
2 a.m.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Me either, but somehow I always ended up there.
Well, Holly Beth, let's do this. I want to hear one more song.
Okay.
Can I
Yeah.
ask you for one more song?
For sure.
You're the best. I'll hand you your guitar.
Get her.
Thank you, ma'am. You're very welcome. Now, this is, what are they? Ladies' choice.
Now, were you living in Waxahachie? Is that why your hair person is in Waxahachie?
Yeah.
I like how you
That's-
say it.
Exactly why. Yeah,
Waxahachie.
her name is Hannah Washington, and I will never let anybody else ever touch my hair again.
There you go. You hear that plug? We'll plug old Hannah.
Yeah, she's great. But yeah, I lived in Waxahachie for about 3 years. I love that town. It's a cute little
Yeah.
town. They've got their little
I lived
square.
in Midlothian for 5 years. So I was
Yep,
right there.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah. Midlothian's cute too. I worked there for a short period of time. I got fired from that job.
Yep. It's
Why?
okay.
Yeah.
Why'd you get fired?
She fell asleep. I'm sorry. Too soon.
Showed up late.
Actually,
Overslept.
Yes.
Did no show.
Actually.
Let me guess. She no showed.
She
I
no
think
showed a
I-
shift.
So that I was working there when I got signed on to Red 11.
You're like,
And-
oh, I'm late.
Well, I mean, playing shows on the weekend and then having to be at work at 8 a.m. on
Yeah.
Monday. And I would show up at 8:02, 8:05, 8:07, maybe. I don't know.
What an
somewhere in there.
unreasonable boss.
Yeah, well, they did warn me. I will give
Yeah.
that. And,
Warned her and she still.
and they did tell me, like, hey, you got to start showing up on time. So I did put in a bit of an effort, but that week, it was just kind of a bad week. I had a guitar player quit on me, and he owned a bunch of the gear that we used, and he sold it without offering it to me, and it was about
Oh.
$10,000 worth of gear.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was a long story. I mean, no hard feelings to that guy now. It's fine.
Yeah.
But like it was a rough week, and I like clocked out of work for about an hour and a half one day because I just like couldn't compose myself. And I think that played a factor into it
Yeah.
too. It is what it is. I
Look
don't
at
care
you
anymore.
now. You're in Austin playing on our podcast.
Yeah,
Shine the red light
exactly.
on. You're doing
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. You said it's my choice
You
now?
bet. Dan
All
picked,
right.
I went. Now it's your turn.
I'm gonna play a song that is gonna be on the album, but it's not mine. Well, it's
That's
mine
okay.
now, but I
Yeah.
didn't write it.
That's okay.
Do you know either one of you know the band Ragland out of
I know 'em.
Oklahoma?
Mhm.
Yeah. So Autumn Ragland, she's
Yeah.
the lead singer, but her husband Sam Cox is her lead guitar player. They reached out to me probably a year ago now and asked me if I wanted to cut any of their songs. They sent me them. Autumn sent me this one specifically, and it was like the first one, and she was like, I just think your voice would sound so good on this. I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Such a good song. But
Such a good band.
yes, they are. They're great, and they're great people too. I'm hoping that me and Autumn get to play some shows together soon. We've been working on it, but
That'd be cool.
everything's kind of falling
Yeah.
through. But anyways, this is called We Can't Be Friends. We can't be friends, 'cause I still love you. We can't be friends, 'cause it don't feel right to say we're friends when I know you better than lonely knows the night. We can't be friends without dreaming, and I can't bend backwards each time that your feelings start getting heated. And you know I wanna run to you and hide. And if I'm being honest, that'll never be enough. I need you more now than when I was young. I think I'm waking up, and if this nightmare ever ends, I'll never fall asleep again. And we can't be friends. We can't be friends. We can't be friends, 'cause I'm too easy. All that it takes is one look in your eyes, and I'm already thinking about you in a different light. Got it all planned out the day and the time. Just tell me where to be and I'll drive. And if I'm being honest, that'll never be enough. I need you more now than when I was young. I think I'm waking up, and if this nightmare ever ends, I'll never fall asleep again. And we can't be friends. We can't be friends. You wanna take it all back? It ain't as easy as that. We're always gonna be mad or sad or something. There's no making amends. There's no way we can pretend. And we can't be friends. We can't be friends. Yeah. Oh, and we can't be friends. We can't be friends. We can't be friends. We can't be friends. We can't be friends, 'cause I still love you. We can't be friends, 'cause it don't feel right.
Gosh, Holly.
Good stuff.
Do you believe that?
What?
That you can't be friends after you've been with somebody in a relationship?
Some of them.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person and the relationship and the maturity in it. But for the most part, I mean, I think it's manageable that you can be friends. But
yeah, I would say that my relationship with Kelly,
Yeah.
my first ex-wife, and because we raised Mia, I'm pretty blessed that we're good friends, and I love her husband, Mike. He's awesome. But when you were singing that, there was a couple of those lyrics, and I apologize if I say it wrong. As lonely as the night, or as the night is lonely.
yeah,
There was an analogy there. First
see,
verse.
without even because I didn't write it, without even like singing it. I think you're right though. I think it's lonely as the night, or
Right. But it sounded like it was coming from perspective, because I know you didn't write this song.
yeah,
So whenever I listen to someone sing a song, I try to have empathy, put myself in the shoes of whoever wrote the song.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, man, I've been able to keep friendships with a lot of relationships I've had. But it sounded like that was coming from a part that there was just a breakup probably, and it's just too soon.
yeah,
So I almost want to say it's too soon to just be friends,
yeah.
Fair?
Yeah, no, I agree. I
Okay.
think it comes in time. I mean, there's exes of mine that I haven't spoke to in years. So I'm not friends with them, but
Right.
there's exes that that I am friends with. So like I think I think it comes down to the two people really.
Sure.
And I mean, maybe even what happened, I don't even know necessarily. I mean, a lot of time heals things, I think.
does.
But or if you work on that. But like my parents got a divorce when I was 2,
Mm-hmm.
and they were not friends for a very long time.
Right.
But I remember one night in high school, I was at home by myself, and they sent me a picture. They were together, like eating dinner, and like
Mm-hmm.
they were, and they were just friends. Like, I mean, no funny business going on, but they were friends,
What do you mean by funny? But no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Well, Holly, without getting too deep, I know we're running on time. I always like to leave time. This is kind of our thing now. I love when Handsome Dan has questions now. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I love what he does. Do you have some questions for him?
Well, do you like City and Color? Do you know who City and Color is?
City and Color.
City and Color.
City and Color. Is it a band?
Yeah, it's
I've
one
never-
guy. Yeah, his name's
Oh.
Dallas Green. City and Color.
I've never. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Dallas Green. I've never heard of him. But I don't know. But it sounds cool. So I
You
want
have
to check it out.
you have a similar sound,
Okay,
but like
cool.
the female. I don't know if you would consider yourself country or not, but it's
See,
somewhere.
that's what I love about
it
Holly.
sounds.
I'm glad you said that, Dan.
The way that you play sounds
Yeah.
very similar to him.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And I
Uh-huh.
love that Red 11 signed her, because I do not look at her as red dirt at all. Y'all
Yeah.
seen a thing
Color
with
and
me.
number.
I mean, it's just awesome. Awesome. Any other
That's all I
questions?
got. That's all I got. That's all I got.
I got it red.
Sweet.
Color.
Yeah.
No.
I don't really know what I am. I just write to write.
Well, and that's cool. You
We've
know,
had
we talked
we've
about your
had some trouble with
influences.
that, with the album.
In
with
what way?
trying to figure out really a cohesive sound.
Okay.
But I have kind of stuck to my ground. My producer's great, but and he has like stuck behind my back on this, but I've stuck to my grounds of I think it'll come out sounding like me.
That's who
Just
it
trust the
should.
process. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
What genre is it? It's Holly Beth. That's
Yeah.
who. That's the.
Holly
Yeah.
Well, I can't thank you enough. I'm sorry we gave you a little bit of hard time. Is that okay?
Hey, it's okay. I
We're
love
friends.
hard time. I
And
like giving
I'm
it back.
telling you, I am still a big fan.
Thank you.
Ashley, it was nice meeting you. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, but
Thank you.
it's kind of sad. Not that I'm also missing you now that you're leaving, but this will be the last
That's
podcast
fine.
shoot here.
It's good.
So this was a good run.
It's a
He
good
gets his
run.
office
We had a good
back.
day.
Yeah, he gets his office back. Grab your drink. And thank you for sleeping around with Dr. Brandon and Matthew, Holly.
Cheers.
Appreciate it. Ash,
Cheers.
what we're going to do now, Hall, we're going to take a picture. And then Dan will do like a selfie picture. And then he'll give you a pin, that pin right there, and he'll video you signing the wall. Does that work for you? Come on up here. girl.
Oh man, that keeps happening, huh?
That's like he keeps stepping on a quarter. Whoa, hey, disco. Come right here. You get in the middle.
All right. How do I want to do this?
That was cool though. It was a fun podcast. Y'all,
Good.
it's not like this other podcast where it's like,
Uh-oh.
what influences do you have?
No.
Where
I like
does your
that.
inspiration come from?
No, I like to ask the fun, stupid questions.
3, 2, 1. Here.
What is this?
Not that light. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Wow, cool. All right, this guy.
'Cause when the sun goes down and the moon is high, we'll be chasing stars to the morning light. Come on,